What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another solo leveling Arise video. It's your boy Payne. Happy Goto release day, guys. Hey, it's been a minute. If you have not checked out the live stream, go check it out. If you have not checked out the summons, go check it out. If you have not seen the skip or pull for Goto, go check it out. All those videos are currently going on YouTube to give you guys all the quality you need to know whether you want to get this unit or not. Now, with that being said, obviously, Goto is released and he does make quite a bit of a bang in the game at the moment. He's obviously the newest, freshest thing with probably the best and most crisp animations the game has to offer. Not to mention, the character is a badass in this game versus what we know in the manhwa and the anime. So they've done him some justice, but where does he sit, and is he top tier, and is he the best character in the game? So we're going to go through all of that. As usual, we will cover all the SSR characters. I've decided at this point, guys, the SRs are no longer required to be put into a category, but you know what? I might change my mind on that again. We may just go ahead and put them where they belong just to keep things consistent. But I want you guys to let me know in the future, in the comment section, do you guys want to see the SRs still categorized, or do you guys only care about SSRs at the moment? So today maybe I'll do one more list with the SRs in the actual tier list, but then going forward I might just place them down here, and I want your comments to let me know whether you want to see them like that in the future or not. Now, before I continue with the video, I just want to remind people there is 5 more days for the newest season of the content creator program to go on. 6 codes are available with a 7th one coming. 6 codes for new content, or for new supporters, 1 extra code coming for existing supporters, and then 1 at the end. So 2 more codes coming for you guys by the time this is all done. So if you're an existing supporter, I want to say thank you so much for supporting me throughout this entire season. I hope you continue to extend for next season to keep getting your codes, because you guys know I never miss any. And for those that are brand new, welcome to the family, welcome to the support program, and I hope you enjoy your codes. Now, with that being said, let's get into the tier list. All right, guys, let's start off with the actual D category. I'm no longer going to go all the way to F. We're just going to go to D. I think that we guys identify that which ones are the worst, which ones are the best. So let's go ahead and do that first. So though 1 unit sits here now, no longer, maybe even 2. I might throw him in there, and then these 2. Actually, maybe we're going to throw 3 in here. These 3 here have no place at all currently in the game whatsoever. So we're going to place these guys in there. In terms of C rank, or I guess C rank here, there's not many here. It's going to probably just be Johi and Sung. These 2 probably here have really no place in the game at the moment either. B rank, believe it or not, there's actually a few decent ranked units here. I'm going to put these guys in B only because they have the ability to break. And now Kim moves up quite a bit because his heavy break is actually being used quite often. And the reason why this is now happening is because the SR units and BOT specifically have now the equal stats of an SSR. They've boosted them all the way, so these guys can now actually have some viability. And as breakers, these guys are probably going to be some of your better options, especially if they're duped up to A10. So make sure you don't deny these guys. I'm going to put Kang in here now as a C as well. I just realized the bleed aspect of him really doesn't have much to offer anymore. He's just been surpassed and overlooked. He was a lot higher before in the past. And then A's, we're going to throw 2 A's up here just because they are still kind of used depending on situations, or you know what, we can probably just categorize them all under B and just put them all here. There are a couple that are better than others, so these 2 here would probably be your top ones, and the rest will kind of fall in line depending on what you need for elements and which breaker is going to work for you best. Okay, so I'll probably put these guys all as B's, and that will take care of the SRs. And again, guys, in the next video, if you don't want to see these SRs at all categorized, I will toss them in the SR section and we'll leave that blank. If you want them still there, I'll remove the SR section, making this look a little bit cleaner for you. Okay, so now let's get into the A category. So let's be real. Lim, Sa. I'm gonna just take one more stab at this. I'm gonna put Dongpu down here. He can lead the B squad. All right. So these 3 here currently are probably the worst characters in the game. It's unfortunate because they're now kind of overlooked with their counterparts, right? We have Harper to replace Lim. We have Surin coming probably most likely to replace Sa. Currently nobody replaces her because she's the only real water breaker, but Nam, I mean, from a non-DPS perspective, Nam is actually a better breaker, but Sa is a better DPS. And then Dongsu is just, with Goto now, he's not even being looked at anymore. He may as well just die at this point in the game. Like, they've really got to do something to buff this guy, or no one's ever going to use him. You gotta put a frown on your face, bro, not a smile. So that is pretty much removing him from the entire category. Okay, now for S rank, we're going to go with Wu here, Akari, I did have Choi here, believe it or not, but Beck will still stay here. Choi might actually move up a little bit now because he's having a lot more usability in places like Simulation, where his damage output is much better, and especially in guild bosses and POD. So Choi actually is going to round up the list up here and probably do a little bit better in this category. But in regards to S's here, I will put Emma up here with Choi. And then from the S categories, I'm trying to think if there's anyone else that could really sit in here. I think everyone else is much better than that. So SS category, let's put a couple of people in here, okay? Honestly, arguably could be SSS, arguably could be, so I'll put him up there for now. Lee Bora, I think definitely deserves a little bit more flowers nowadays, but I'm still gonna put her top end of SS just to keep her there. When it comes down to buffing, Hensi me, hands in my pants, where are you at? Definitely deserves to be up here. Is niche, of course, but still is required for the win team, especially now if you're going to be using Goto plus Mirai. She will definitely belong there. Yusuyun, definitely top tier fire unit. Mirai, definitely top tier wind unit. Thomas, definitely top tier light unit. I mean, you can't really beat that, right? Cha, definitely still top tier for light as well. I'll say she goes right around this area. I'd say Yusuyun probably here. And then Harper and Charlotte, I'm going to drop them down to here. Okay, I'm going to put both of them down to here. Now, I'll be honest. I think Harper is still one of the best breakers in the game. It's just that Dark really doesn't have much love right now. I think Harper could technically go up here, and we'll leave her up there. Okay, so you guys can see they're getting a lot of love for that. Gina. Gina is critical. I won't say actually critical. She is one of the main reasons why the fire team does so well, but they can live without her. I've done a lot of testing with Mei Lin, with Min. They can definitely live without her. Speaking of Min, definitely goes up there. Speaking of Mei Lin, definitely goes up there. And Isla also goes up here. The three main universal supports that you definitely want to have. Alicia is going to take a little bit of a seat right now in terms of DPS because there's really no content for her. She's going to go down to SS. Still really, really good. SL is definitely going to be top tier breaker. So she's going to fall right around, I'd say here. A little more viable than Yusuyun because of Kanae. And then we're going to put Goto right here. And then, Gunhee right there. Goto, I'd say right there. And then, yeah, you guys guessed it. The one thing before I actually finish up with Goto here. I think that a lot of people are going to really like him, but he's really going to be usable for a very select few. And by this, I mean the select few being people who are brand new players and people who are going to be mid-card players, okay? And by this, I mean people who are still focusing on Vulcan, people who are still focusing on Baron, not people who are on Deimos and above. Right now, with this being said, remember, we are giving his tier as he is right now in the content that is released right now. We don't know the future. We only know rumors. The rumors are WOBL coming out will not be wind, right? And it kind of makes sense if you think about it. And again, it's just a rumor, guys. None of this is solidified. Marvel can do anything they want. If you really look at it, that's kind of what happened with Thomas. He was good for Simulation. He was good for the Encore, and I mentioned this already. And he was great as a support for that period of time. But not to mention also that Wind has already 2 WOBLs under their belt. They have Vulcan and they have Baron, right? So if they had a third, they would be ahead of most other by 2, by elements by 2. So I think what they're going to do is they're going to start playing catch up. So we might see Light and we might see Wind, or sorry, Light and Water next. Because if you look at the story mode for Hidden Chapters, Yogamont and his squad of chicks, Pimpin' Ain't Easy, is actually weak to water. So Goto might not see the light of day for these upcoming WOBLs, but you might see future ones where he does excel. And not to mention also the Ant King is weak against Wind as well, so he has content there. So for the next 2 months, you can technically use Goto and he does excel in everything he does, but he's not going to be necessarily the unit that or the element that we see for WOBL. So I want to make that clear because a lot of people have been asking that question, right? And then lastly, of course, best unit in the game, Kanae. Yeah, I mean, she's just... What can you not say about this girl? Skill 2 ultimates, she can ultimate twice, 3 times with her actual real ultimate, does insane amount of damage, just eclipses everybody when it comes down to DPS, and is by far the most fun unit right now to use in the game. So that rounds up the entire list. Is Goto top tier? Absolutely. Now I know you guys might be thinking, hey Payne, this is pretty top heavy up here. I agree. I agree. It is top heavy. But you know what the crazy thing is? This is kudos to Netmarble for making these units still viable. There's a lot of OG units still in here. For example, Cha's still in here. SM Beck is still in here. Technically, if you want to, like, you could technically do this if you want to make it less top heavy, right? I mean, we can throw in some units down there and make it more like this. But I think at the end of the day, this is testament to Netmarble's love for the community and their love for the player base by letting older characters who have been around for a very long time still do really, really well and still be part of content that you never thought possible. Power creep really does exist, but it doesn't exist that heavily in this game, which I love. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Take care.